slide there. So this is how I got started with the business, a clothing company, local laundry. And this is how I got started, by losing a fight with a washing machine. Okay? So picture this. You know, the oil and gas company, I'll tell you what, they didn't keep me around. They gave me the old boot. They kicked me out pretty quickly. And here I was back at square one. Well, I still want to be really successful and I want to make all this money, but I don't know what to do. So I decided to go back to school. I decided to go do my MBA, and we decided to move across I said, I got to get out of here. I'm going to go halfway across the world. I'm going to go study. I'm going to go find myself. So I decided the most beautiful place, tropical. I decided to move to northern Sweden, which was, if you think Canada's cold, Sweden is much, much colder. And we were living in this tiny little house. I brought my wife decided to come with me, and she taught English there. We lived in this tiny, tiny house. This house was so small, you could be in your bed and you could turn off the kitchen sink in bed. It was that small. And we had this little tiny, teeny tiny washing machine. And this washing machine, you might think, oh, okay, it's probably in your washing room, right? Everyone's got a laundry room. Nope, this washing machine was in our shower, right? Because that's just what you do in Sweden. And this washing machine was just teeny, teeny tiny. And every time we did a load of laundry, this thing would dance all across the shower like a little Tasmanian devil. And so much so that my wife and I, we'd actually have to sit on top of this thing, wrestle it, just so it wouldn't dance all across the shower and wreak havoc. And so after one night of one particularly bad bout with this load of laundry, my wife and I are sitting there, and it's just soaking wet laundry. We lost this fight. It was just just soaking wet laundry all over the shower in our little tiny bathroom. And it got me thinking. I was like, you know what? I think there's something here. She's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, there's dirty laundry, wet laundry here. Of course there's something here. I'm like, no, I think there's something more. People really care about local, right? We see all this thing about supporting local, craft beer, farm-to-table food. I was like, what if we could make our clothing local? Like, what if we could make a clothing brand that was made here and supported local causes and supported local artists? And she's like, okay, yeah, that could be something. And then I was like, you know what we'll call it? And she's like, what? I've seen all the laundry and everything. And I'm like, I got it. Calgary Clothing Company. And she was like, Connor, listen, I love you, bub, but that's an awful name. That's the dumbest name I've ever heard. And I was like, you're so smart. You come up with a better name. And so she was like, why don't you call it Local Laundry? Because we're drowning in laundry here. And I was like, that is a great idea. This is why I married you. You're the smart one. So if you wouldn't mind going to the next slide. So what do you do when you have no idea how to start something? Like, I had no idea. I failed pretty miserably in the oil and gas world. No idea about clothing. My mom and my sister still helped me buy all my clothes at that point in time. But I just had this passion. I had this idea, and I couldn't sleep until I saw it come to fruition. So we live in a time where you can do whatever you want. All the information is right at our fingertips. So I just did what anyone can do. Like, this is not that hard. I just Google search how to make a t-shirt company. And then all these articles, great books came up. And I was like, I don't want to read. So I watched a YouTube video. And there was a step-by-step YouTube video that just laid it all out. And it said, this is what you do. You get your website, you use Shopify, blah, 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 blah. And within a couple of hours, I had my own online t-shirt company. And I was just blown away that I could come up with an idea, and a couple hours later, I could bring it to life out of nothing. I took nothing and a little bit of nothing else, slapped it together, and then I created something that was tangible, it was out there. And you know what the best part? It was mine. I could do whatever I wanted with it. No one could tell me what to do. I told my parents, they're like, that's a horrible idea, Connor. You don't know anything about clothes. I'm like, well, maybe, but you know what? I can figure it out. I can mold it. I can shape it however I want. I can work on it as much as I want. Or if I'm tired that day and I don't want to work on it, I don't have to work on it. And that really got me excited, that this was something that was completely my own. I could do whatever I want. I could use it as a vehicle to connect and meet other people, right? So, we'll go to the next slide, please.